Okay, I want you to stop and think for just a second about all the apps on your phone right now. You know the ones. The social feeds, the streaming services, search engines, those addictive little games. The average person actually touches their phone over 2,600 times a day. I mean, how many hours did you spend scrolling just this week? Now consider this. Almost all of these incredibly sophisticated platforms seem to be completely free. But, well, of course they aren't, right? As we'll see throughout this explainer, you are actually paying for them every single time you open them. And you're paying with something way more valuable than cash. You, my friend, are paying with your attention. So, let's dive into how this whole engineered system actually works. We're going to start with the new global currency, then look at the mechanisms of attention capture, uncover the free platform illusion, and really dig into the psychology of scrolling. After that, we'll zoom out to the impact on our society and finally wrap up with the future of focus. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The new global currency. From scarcity to abundance. So think about life before the internet. Media back then, like a daily newspaper or a television broadcast, had these natural stopping points. The newspaper literally ended, the TV episode rolled its credits, and you moved on with your day. But the smartphone revolution completely flipped the script. A computer used to be this bulky thing you sat down at occasionally. Now, it's in your pocket, everywhere you go, pumping out unlimited articles, literally billions of videos, and just constant, instant notifications. The internet gave us unlimited information, but here is the massive catch. Human attention did not increase. Our brains didn't suddenly upgrade. We now have way more content than any single person could ever consume in a lifetime, which means thousands of companies are now locked in a fierce, absolute battle for the exact same, strictly limited resource, your focus.
This brings us to what's formerly known as the attention economy. Basically, it's a business model where companies compete to capture, maintain, and ultimately monetize human focus. This is a massive system where your attention is treated as the ultimate, highly valuable, scarce resource. The primary goal for these platforms? It's not just to give you information, it's to absolutely maximize your engagement. Because in today's economic reality, whoever manages to control human attention can actually influence human behavior. Everything from what we learn and what we buy to what we believe and how we talk to each other.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Mechanisms of Attention Capture, the Invisible Puppet Master. These platforms don't just hope you stick around. They use a highly sophisticated 5-part arsenal to actively mine your focus. First up, recommendation algorithms. They don't just show you things in chronological order anymore, they crunch your data to predict exactly what will keep your eyes glued to the screen. Number 2, infinite scrolling. Remember those natural stopping points we just talked about? Yeah, platforms just got rid of them entirely. It is quite literally like eating from a bottomless bowl of soup. The next video or post is always just right there waiting for you. Third, notifications. Those little buzzes and red dots are attention triggers that build this constant sense of anticipation. Fourth is social feedback. Platforms take our deeply human desire for connection and turn it into measurable metrics, likes, comments, follower counts. That right there is what keeps you checking back. And finally, number 5. Personalization. Because the platform filters everything to match your super specific interests, it feels highly relevant, which just effortlessly ramps up the time you spend scrolling.
Which leads us to Section 3, the free platform illusion. Let's follow the money.
So, why build this incredible arsenal of tools just to let you use the app for free? Well, it all boils down to a brilliantly simple 3-step formula. Step 1, attract attention. Step 2, keep users engaged. Step 3, convert all that to revenue. You see, in this model, you aren't actually the direct customer. The platform gives you a free service, and in exchange, you hand over your attention, your engagement, and your data. Then, advertisers pay the platform big money for access to your eyeballs. It's simple math. More attention equals more ads viewed and more data collected for even better ad targeting. Plus, you have these massive network effects. As a platform captures more users, it becomes more culturally relevant and valuable, which naturally just sucks in even more users.
Let's look a little deeper in Section 4, the psychology of scrolling, why we literally can't look away.
A huge piece of this puzzle relies on something called variable rewards. This is the incredibly powerful psychological mechanism of uncertainty. Think about it. When you open your social feed, you genuinely do not know what you're going to see next. Is it going to be something totally boring? Will it be a hilarious meme? Breaking news? A message from a friend?
You don't know. And that unpredictable outcome, it acts exactly like a slot machine in a Vegas casino. It is the uncertainty itself that trains your brain to keep pulling the lever or, to keep swiping down to refresh your screen.
On top of that slot machine effect, these platforms are just masterfully designed to exploit two very deep-rooted human traits: curiosity and social connection. As humans, we naturally seek out information. We want to know what's going on. So platforms heavily promote trending topics and cliffhangers to hook that curiosity. At the exact same time, we're wired to crave belonging, recognition, and communication. Digital platforms step right into that gap, providing instant social feedback. They aren't just cool pieces of software, they are perfectly tuned to our evolutionary wiring.
Okay, part 5. Impact on our society. Let's look beyond the screen.
When we take a step back and objectively look at the macro-level effects, the ripple effects are everywhere, starting with productivity. The constant interruptions and notification overload force us into continuous task switching. This severely fragments our ability to do deep, concentrated work. Then there's information quality. Because these platforms are desperately competing for your attention, they often reward content that is highly emotional, controversial, or surprising. The result? Sensationalism and outrage often spread way faster than basic, nuanced facts. Then we have well-being. Studies consistently show that excessive use can lead to negative social comparison and major sleep disruption. And finally, democracy and public discussion. This whole system dictates what topics trend and how fast information spreads, which has sparked massive global debates about algorithmic transparency and the wild spread of online misinformation.
Because the stakes are so high, a pretty intense controversy has emerged around all this. On one side, you have the view that this is pure exploitation. Critics argue that because platforms relentlessly optimize for engagement, users are literally losing control of their own time, and the algorithms are actively amplifying societal harm. But on the flip side, supporters point to the very real benefits. They argue that personalization actually helps us cut through the noise and discover useful content efficiently. Plus, these totally free services provide massive, genuine value to billions of people. And, at the end of the day, users are still the ones making their own choices.
Which brings up a really fascinating question for us to ponder. Do users actually have meaningful control? Now, it is super important to bust a common myth right here. Algorithms do not have complete mind control over people. Our human choices, our local communities, and our external lives still matter immensely. And hey, not all screen time is bad. Learning new things and staying connected with family is highly positive. But the reality we have to acknowledge is that tech companies are ultimately optimizing for their business goals. And their goal, maximizing the minutes you spend on their app, very often directly conflicts with your goal of living a balanced, healthy life.
So where's this all heading? Section 6, the future of focus, AI and beyond.
Looking at where we are right now, artificial intelligence is already making the attention economy vastly more powerful by generating those incredibly accurate, hyper-personalized recommendations and ads. Looking ahead to the near future, the risks definitely escalate. We're looking at much more sophisticated attention capture techniques and a really severe information overload. It's going to become increasingly difficult to separate genuinely valuable information from the sheer noise of unlimited AI-produced content. But looking long-term, it's not all doom and gloom. There are real solutions on the horizon. We will very likely see a major push for better, more ethical platform design, vastly improved user control features, widespread digital literacy education in schools, and a broader societal shift toward personal attention management. Basically, learning how to protect our own focus. We've seen exactly how human attention became this massive economic resource, how companies engineered their apps to mine it, and how it's shaping our entire society. But as AI pours gasoline on this whole dynamic, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to reflect on today. As we move forward into this wild new era, who is ultimately going to control human attention? Will it be the algorithms, or will it be you?